Brian Walsh, in my opinion, definitely believes that he is capable of pulling off a grand lie. And I say that because he pleaded guilty to selling fake Andy Warhol paintings, and he was sentenced to 37 months in prison and ordered to pay over $400,000 in restitution. What does that have to do with his standing trial for the murder of his wife, Anna? Because I think Walsh is trying to pull off another grand lie. He, according to the defense, woke up in bed with his wife. He went downstairs, he checked his emails, he cleaned the kitchen, and he went back upstairs and climbed in the bed with his wife. He noticed that she was unresponsive, not moving. He nudged her several times, and her body, in fact, rolled off the bed. And according to the defense, Walsh panicked. He thought that he would be accused of doing something to his wife, I suppose, and so he decided to go to Lowe's, buy over $400 worth of materials that any reasonable person would conclude is necessary to cut up a body, the hacksaw that was bought, and according to the state, the Commonwealth, there was bone fragment found on this hacksaw and a bunch of cleaning materials, which one would naturally and reasonably assume would be necessary to clean up after yourself after you've murdered someone and or dismember a body. Brian Walsh shocked everybody when he pleaded guilty to misleading police and to getting rid of his wife's body. The state believes that Anna's body parts were placed in dumpsters around the city and were eventually incinerated. So only Brian Walsh will know how Anna Walsh actually died. Walsh claiming that he had a happy marriage, even though he hired a private investigator to find out whether or not Anna was having an affair. In addition to the couple actually discussing distribution of assets and Brian Walsh's digital trail showing that he had Googled the best way for a man to divorce is a direct contradiction to we had a happy marriage. Finding your wife, your spouse, dead for some inexplicable reason and panicking and thinking that you, the surviving spouse who found the body, will somehow be looked at suspiciously, accused, blamed of her death. Well, that maybe I can buy that. But going out, buying a hacksaw and over $400 worth of cleaning materials, coming back to your home and cutting up your spouse's body who you claim to love, that is wicked work. And to me, that is a sign of anger, of desperation, and of wanting to disappear someone, to make someone not exist anymore. Is not the reaction of a husband who loved his wife and who had a happy marriage. I think Brian Walsh thought that the minute that he stepped into that penitentiary, that his wife would divorce him, and that she, Anna, and their 3 young sons would go on to have a great life, whereas he, a felon, in debt and possibly humiliated by his wife having an affair, would have nothing to look forward to. It's only day 1 of the trial. We've only heard opening statements, but sorry, not sorry. Brian Walsh, I think you're trying to pull off another grand deception. And just like the fraud of selling those fake Andy Warhol paintings, I don't think, Brian, I don't think you're going to get away with it.